Our 90-day all-access package is always incredibly popular at the start of football, but we've made it even better. Not only do we discount the 90-day all-access package to $7.99, but until August 29th, we've added 30 days. That's right, until Sunday, August 29th, you get 120 days of the most action-packed sports month for only $7.99. That would include the rest of the NFL preseason, all MLB plays through the World Series, the entire college football regular season, at least 15 weeks of the NFL, over 2 months of the NHL and NBA, over 6 weeks of college basketball, plus any soccer, UFC, Asian baseball, Asian basketball, golf, and any other sports your favorite capper releases. The most action-filled 120 days of the sports year are yours for only $7.99.
Welcome, everyone, to WagerTalk Today. I'm Lawrence Presman. That man is Teddy Covers. And, Teddy, I am slightly under the weather, which I never am. I don't recall having a cold in decades, but I got my napkins, Kleenex, whatever. It's actually toilet paper for the old nozzle. I won last night. Shout out to all my clients, man. You guys have been awesome. 6 months since March 1st, Teddy. I've just been absolutely rolling and really appreciate the love my clients are giving me. I had the Dodgers, easy winner. Padres, man. This team is just falling off a cliff. Them, Oakland, the Blue Jays. How are you, bro? Did you win last night? What's going on?
Yeah, my game was a little bit more of a sweat than your game. I had the Yankees last night. I got off to a 6-0 lead, and I'm sitting there thinking it's going to be a rocking chair game, and then you blink, and it's 6-6, and you're sweating through the late innings. Yankees got it done late against the slumping A's, and that's what I'm going to talk about, and what did bettors learn today. I want to talk about these Yankees, because we've seen it now a couple of times during this winning streak. This team is really resilient, and that's something I look for the postseason. We saw that extra inning game against Kansas City last week. The bullpen kept blowing it. The Yankees kept on scoring. Last night made me crazy. Again, they blew a 6-0 lead. They blew a bases loaded, a one-out opportunity in the eighth. They still fought, and then 2 out, nobody on, a walk, a stolen base, a throwing error, an Aaron Judge single, and boom. Aroldis Chapman with the save. Ball game. Teams with a $200 million payroll can suffer injuries. They can blow leads in ways that teams like, Seattle or Oakland can't. And Yankees have shown me something during this winning streak. In my mind, Prez, they are the team to beat in the American League. Frankly, it's not even that close. If I'm making one future wager to win the AL, it's the New York Yankees. They can hit quality pitching, and they prove their resilience. And that stands out to me at this stage of the MLB season. What about you? What did you learn last night?
Well, I'll just ask you a question. You got Garrett Cole at minus 152 against those slumping A's tonight. You going back to the well, or did I just give away your pay play?
No, that's a free play for everybody. You can read my analysis on it over at WagerTalk and or sportsmemo.com. I'm not using it as the big game breakdown today because this show needed some preseason football. So I'm going to give you a preseason football opinion later in the show on the Bears versus the Titans. But the Yankees in my pocket, absolutely. Yankees, again, a free play for everyone. You can read the analysis over at WagerTalk and or sportsmemo.com.
Brother, what a show we got. Rob Veno joining us off the top, and he's going to talk Yankees, Oakland, Philadelphia, Arizona, and the UTEP New Mexico State game. I've got a free pick on that as well. You guys can check that out on my free pick page over at wagertalk.com. Andy Lang joining us. Well, you know what Andy's bringing. He's bringing prop bets, couple of NFL, one baseball, and, of course, Hakeem Profit Skee going to join us at the end of the show. And he's talking all baseball, Teddy. Let's bring Robert in. Rob Veno, how are you, my friend? What's going on? You're deep in the thick of college football research?
Yes, absolutely. At this time of year, that's what it's all about, right? I mean, it's been that way for me for a couple of months prior to this. But, yeah, college football, it's up on us now. This stuff tends to creep up on us really, really quickly. We'll be doing one of these shows, guys, on a Friday in November, and we'll be saying, where did the college football season go? It happens that quick. So have to be ready for it. Glad it's here, guys. Last year at this time, we weren't even sure that we'd get a couple of weeks in. Looks like we'll be able to get a season in here, even with what's going on out there, outdoors with the variant of coronavirus. But yeah, very, very happy to be here, guys, and look forward to a big weekend.
And Rob, you made a point that really stands out to me because it does happen every year in college football. All of a sudden you wake up, it's the middle of October, like, oh my God, the season's half over. I mean, of all the sports and all the seasons, the college football season goes the quickest. So it's one of those where you want to be ready, willing, and able right from the get-go, right from week 1, week 2 to start making money. And I know you've done your homework over this summer, Rob. You and I have known each other more than 20 years. And you're one guy I know does his homework over the summer.
We have to, Teddy. I mean, like you say, when it's only the 12-week season, you got to adjust on the fly in college football, right? You can't be 2 weeks late to the party. You just can't. So we're looking forward to it. Hopefully things go well right off the bat. And we'll give you one today on this show that seems to stand out a little bit as a pretty good play.
Before we get into it, just a funny comment in the chat room. Irish John writes, Ronaldo's coming home, Manchester United. So we have an Irishman calling a Brazilian coming home to an English team. Okay. Welcome to the show, Irish John. We love having you, man. Rob, let's get straight into it. New York Yankees,
yeah.
Oakland. I mean, the Yankees just can't lose right now, and they're finding ways to win, which Teddy was talking about at the top. Where are you going here?
Well, I have to go with the hot team, right? I go with the Yankees. Teddy started it off in his what did we learn last night segment there, and more than anybody that I've known over the course of time, I know it's Teddy, where baseball is concerned, that is always of the opinion you just follow streaks. Don't stand in front of the freight train. Either you're going to get out the way or you're going to jump on. Tonight just looks like a great situation to be in here. I'll go with the starting pitching first, right? Garrett Cole, who there were certain questions about, certainly, when the spider tack issues arose. But his last 2 starts have been really, really good. 11 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 walks, only 9 base runners allowed in those 11 2/3. That's the dominant Garrett Cole that we know. He's only allowed 1 run in his last 2 starts, 15 strikeouts to 2 walks. That's more like Garrett Cole. It equates to a 0.77 ERA and an 0.77 whip. The other side of this coin is Sean Manaea, who, I had a little conversation with a colleague of ours, Tony Finn, where we talked about Sean Manaea a little bit and how we thought he was kind of doing things with smoke and mirrors, throwing a no-hitter, pitching really well, striking out 13 at the end of July. But the month of August has seen the tide turn for Sean Manaea. He's made 4 starts inside this month, 16 2/3 innings, 24 hits, 7 walks. That's a 1.86 whip. And he's also given up 17 earned runs. That's a 9.18 ERA. Those numbers aren't skewed, guys. He's been bad in every start this month. At home, because you pitch in Oakland, you figure, all right, maybe his numbers are more road dominant than they are home dominant. Oakland's got all that foul territory. But at home, since July the 1st, 19 1/3 innings pitched. That's less than 5 a start, by the way. So you probably get a dose of the Oakland bullpen tonight. 1.66 whip, 6.52 ERA. Those games are against Texas, Cleveland, the Giants, and the Padres. Then we have to add on the A's bullpen here, right? And how bad things have been for them over the course of the last 6 days. A's have lost 5 straight games. How about in 4 of those, they had the lead going into the 8th or 9th inning, and the bullpen blew all 4 of them, including last night. Teddy mentioned it. Top of the 9th, 6-6 tie, boom. Bullpen comes in, you lose 7-6. It's been bad for the A's bullpen as of late. They're just a team that's in a funk right now against a team that's winning every game. Yankee offense, 5+ runs in 7 straight games. Oakland offense, 3 or less runs in 6 of their last 10. It's a reason why I play the run line here. Obviously, we have the road team, so we get the 9 full at-bats, but the run line full game here is -1.5 +105. And with the Yanks scoring 5+ every night and Oakland scoring 3 or less, 60% of the nights, common mathematics would tell you that's a 2-run difference there. The Yanks, last 14 wins, 11 of those by 2 or more runs. They've just been beating people pretty soundly. I think it continues here. I'll take the Yankees -1.5 with an underdog price attached to it, +105. Why not? Yankees -1.5 full game, +105.
So, Rob, when I bet this one and when I wrote it up as a free play for today, I played the Yankees full game. I didn't lay the 1.5 for the Yankees. I didn't take a first 5 line. I just laid the juice with the Yankees in the -150 range for the Bronx Bombers right now in Oakland. And at least a part of that was because of what you talked about with the A's recent bullpen meltdowns, where they just can't close out games and they're losing all these 1-run decisions late. Does that concern you here with the run line wager on the Yankees? Because that kind of, it's not like Oakland's bullpen can't melt down and give up multiple runs late, but it's been a lot of 1-run losses during this particular skid for the A's. So I felt more comfortable laying the juice. What's your take on the run line versus -150 debate?
Well, I think the thought process is that they'll get to Manaea. Well, but again, last night, Teddy, they had a 6-0 lead, right? The Yankees did, and Oakland quickly evaporated that. So you hope that doesn't happen again. But I do feel like against Sean Manaea here, those right-handed bats of the Yankees, they're going to get out big and be able to coast home in the end. I think what was most promising last night, if you're a Yankees fan or a Yankees backer, was that Aroldis Chapman came in and looked pretty good because he has not been great lately. And if they get him going, that bullpen becomes pretty much shut down. Now, I don't know that we'll see him tonight. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Hopefully we're not in that situation where I'm concerned. But, the 57 cents difference there, the 52 that you would lay on a money line and the 5 that you would take on the run line, I just felt a little confident in the way the Yankees have been beating people, the separation that they've created, 11 of the last 14. I felt safe with it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, 7 of the last 9 all won by a run line, and they're putting up runs every game, Rob. 7-5-5, 7-10, 7. Love that handicap. Arizona, Philadelphia, you've got a first 5-inning bet for us. What is it?
Going to play under, Prez. Under 4.5 runs. There's a little juice attached to this, -15 cents here. Again, I'll go to the starting pitching first. Taylor Widener, to the casual bettor first look, Taylor Widener, more Arizona garbage, but he's really been pretty good. And for the most part, he's been pretty good. His last 3 starts, 3 straight, he's gone 5 full, all 3 games, 2 runs or less allowed, 5 or more strikeouts in those games. One of those was against the Phillies at home in Arizona in a series that the Phillies really needed a week ago and lost 2 out of 3, I believe. In that game against the Phillies, he went 5 innings, 1 run allowed, 2 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. What's important here, though, when you're playing 5-inning guys, is you have to go back and check what the 5-inning results were in these games. So for Taylor Widener here, the 5-inning score of his last 3 games, all 3 were under 4.5 runs, which is the number we're looking at tonight. They were 3-1 at Colorado, by the way. So in Coors, he had a 3-1 game after 5, 1-1 in that game against Philadelphia, 2-2 against the Padres. Other pitcher here, Aaron Nola. I'm always pro Aaron Nola at home and anti-Aaron Nola on the road. His splits just have worked out that way. And it's kind of funny because you shouldn't be better in Citizens Bank, which is a hitter-friendly park, but he is. Offenses that he's faced since the All-Star break have been really good. Yankees, Atlanta, Dodgers, Cincinnati, Padres, Pirates, and Washington. His home numbers this year, 1.03 whip, 3.32 ERA, 12 strikeouts per 9 innings, 265 on base percentage allowed, 224 batting average. So I like the starting pitching matchup here for the first 5. We want to keep these 2 bullpens as far out of reach as we can. Nobody wants any part of either one of those. You saw the bottom of the 9th last night with Arizona. Almost turned an 8-2 lead into a loss. I think the biggest reason, though, the seller on this, guys, aside from the starting pitching, is the fact that on one side, last night we lost Ketel Marte. On the other side, we lose Rhys Hoskins. And I'm just going to go over some numbers with you where these 2 guys are concerned. The Diamondbacks were without Ketel Marte between June 27th and July 31st. in those games, the ones that were played on the road, Arizona Chase Field is so hitter friendly that I went ahead and used the road games here. They played 12 road games without Marte. They scored 38 runs, barely over 3 per game. As soon as he came back, the 1st of August, they played 12 road games, same amount of road games. They scored 51 runs, 4.3 per game. So a little over a run added per game with Marte. Here's a guy who hits 348, 401 on base, 548 slugging. I mean, he's everything to that offense. He makes it go when he's in there. You don't have him tonight against Aaron Nola, so that's a plus for Aaron Nola. And on the other side, Rhys Hoskins just recently was on a 10-day DL, missed 15 games. At the time when he went on the DL, Philly was actually, guys were touting them to win the NL East at that point. And then they went into a complete tailspin when he went down. He missed 15 games. In those 15 games, they only scored 4 runs or more 3 times. The other 12, 3 runs or less. Rhys Hoskins was a difference maker. And without him, they couldn't hit. The batting average, I think, was 197 as a team without him. He came back for only 3 games. He hits 3 home runs in those 3 games right away. Philadelphia starts scoring runs again, and now he's out. So both pitchers have the advantage here of no Hoskins on one side, no Marte on the other. I'm going to look to under 4.5 runs here. I know it's Philadelphia. It's the summertime. It's Citizens Bank. But the numbers that these teams have put up without these 2 individuals in the lineup suggest that we got an under here, first 5.
So you certainly make a great point with Marte and Hoskins both out, Rob. But I got to ask you about Nola, because Nola's been spotty. He had 3 short starts in a row, 2 of which were bad. I watched the one against Cincinnati. He had no command in that game and got hit pretty hard and got knocked out of the box, his last home start. And then last time out, he found his rhythm against the Padres and threw a season-high 117 pitches in that ballgame. So we got a hurler in spotty current form off an enormous pitch count. Does that concern you regarding the under here?
The enormous pitch count wouldn't, because I'm on a 5-inning line. If I was playing full game, I'd probably be concerned. I can't get 7 innings out of Nola tonight because of the 117 pitches, and I'm just using that as guesswork. I don't know that they couldn't get 7 out of him, but that would be your thought process, right? He probably can't go 7. I'm going to get stuck with the Philadelphia bullpen at the end of the game. But in a 5-inning game, you expect this guy to get through 5 innings against this lineup in particular, one of the worst hitting lineups in the league without their best hitters. So I think I used the home numbers as an overriding circumstance. And again, let me just say this, that at home, Aaron Nola has pitched against the Reds, the Dodgers, the Braves 3 times, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Brewers, the Cardinals. His home starts have not been easy against weak offenses. This might be the weakest offense he's faced at home all season long. So I'm going to take my chances with him and a lineup that's minus Ketel Marte, their best hitter, and we'll see where the chips fall. Again, this park lends itself to offense, so you're always taking that risk, playing something as low as 4.5 under. But I think both of these guys have shown they can get us there, and especially the offenses show that they're pretty weak without those 2 guys in their lineups.
Rob Veno, everybody. Teddy covers. If Rob Veno and Marco D'Angelo had a show together, would it end?
Yeah, eventually. But these are the 2 guys that can break down a game like few others can. Yeah. I mean, when I listen to Rob Veno, honestly, it sounds like poetry to me. It's Rob Veno can, and I don't mind Rob taking an extra minute to talk about these games because what he says makes sense, and it helps not just for today's handicap, but for handicaps in the future. That said, Rob, we're a little short on time. We got 1 game left. Yeah. Let's get into it. What game is that, Mr. Prez?
Yeah, Jessica, how are you, Jessica? I love seeing you in the chat room. She writes, Veno is so long-winded. No, Jessica, Veno just has so much damn information. He doesn't really know how to summarize it. And I'm guessing, Rob, I'm going out on a limb here and guessing you could have done this twice as long.
First off, guys, I like to refer to it as thorough. I don't want to leave any stone uncovered. So I try to be thorough and detailed. But let me, before I get so short a time that all I can say is Texas El Paso will crush them. Let me get into this real fast here. El Paso, guys, against New Mexico State. Obviously, New Mexico State plays the 2 games in the spring. I'll try and talk like an auctioneer here for you. Dixie State, Tarleton State, both FCS teams. They used those as spring practice games. They weren't necessarily trying to win. They won one of them, but they were trying to get things together because when they opted out of the COVID season last year, their roster basically took off into the transfer portal. You see them in most preseason annuals, only 3 starters returning. Nobody left, and they couldn't get anybody in the transfer portal. So the kids they had in the spring, they knew were going to have to play in the fall. They tried to set things up from there. It's a team that's always depth shy. It's a team that's always undersized. Doug Martin's a really good head coach. He tries to gimmick it to death with that offense, that quick passing game. UTEP, Dana Dimmel, the head coach here, when you talk about coaches on the hot seat, he would be one of them. You don't think of UTEP being a hot seat place, but he's been there 4 years, hasn't gotten things done. Here's what I like about Dana Dimmel. He admitted, my offensive scheme is so complex that it takes my offensive linemen 3 years to fully understand it. Now I've got a crew of 3 years or more, and we're really confident in our offensive line and our running game. Again, we don't want to make them sound like Alabama. This is Conference USA. This is UTEP standards. But he's got his best crew here where running the football is concerned. In short, they should be able to run the football right down New Mexico State's throat. What New Mexico State will try to do with their quick passing offense is wear out the UTEP pass rush and hopefully by the second half put up some points. You know what, guys? When you can run the football, though, and keep your defense off the field, I don't know that works, tiring out the opposing defensive front. Look for UTEP to run the ball successfully right out of the chute. Their quarterback, Gavin Hardison, according to all reports, made real strides throwing the football, and they've got some good receivers on this team. They just don't use them because they could never really had a quarterback who could throw before. I think UTEP, the line movement here is correct. 10 is about the limit, though. You don't want to get going any higher than that. So lay the 10 now. I think they'll win by a couple of touchdowns. Give me UTEP over the depth-shy, undersized New Mexico State team, minus the 10.
Rob, awesome, man. And so much fun in the chat room. Skee Profit gets in. Rob can have a few of my minutes.
I love
Jessica
Skee.
writes, not Jessica, one of the other listeners writes, hey, you can be long-winded and informative. I just want everybody to know, Friday is our most watched show. It sits up all weekend. There is a reason Robert the Hair Veno is on every Friday and on first. It's because he is that damn good. And to bookend the best show on the planet with Marco Monday and you on Friday, it's awesome, dude. What do you got to promote?
I'm going to promote a couple of 4% baseball best bets up and available right now, Prez, at WagerTalk.com. You can get those right now for tonight's action. You can also get NFL preseason play that goes tonight. It's been up for a couple of days now. Go ahead and get that as well. So all the selections up and available, WagerTalk.com. And if you can't get enough of me and Skee Profit, I'm going to join Skee later on this afternoon and on one of his shows, so we'll be together. And don't forget College Football Today, Wager Talk's newest show. I'll be on today with Ralph Michaels and I think Tony Mejia, 4 o'clock Eastern time. So if you're looking for college football information, check us out this afternoon.
Yeah, I watched that show yesterday. It was just outstanding. Get out of here, brother. We're taking a quick break. We got a ton more. Teddy's Big Game Breakdown, Andy Lang, Skee Profits, My Daily Presidential Address. We'll be back in 20.
Our 90-day all-access package is always incredibly popular at the start of football, but we've made it even better. Not only do we discount the 90-day all-access package to $7.99, but until August 29th, we've added 30 days. That's right, until Sunday, August 29th, you get 120 days of the most action-packed sports month for only $7.99. That would include the rest of the NFL preseason, all MLB plays through the World Series, the entire college football regular season, at least 15 weeks of the NFL, over 2 months of the NHL and NBA, over 6 weeks of college basketball, plus any soccer, UFC, Asian baseball, Asian basketball, golf, and any other sports your favorite Kappa releases. The most action-filled 120 days of the sports year are yours for only $7.99.
Time for today's big game breakdown. Let's talk some NFL preseason football. Saturday NFL X, the Titans and the Bears. Looking at the WagerTalk Live odds screen right now, I'm seeing Chicago about a 3-point road favorite. Total has been bet down a little bit. There were 36s earlier this morning. It's mostly 35 and a half. As we speak, I can understand the under money, but I can really understand the Bears money. One thing that we've seen this year that's very different from last year. Last year, every COVID outbreak, huge headlines. There's a COVID situation right now for the Titans, and it doesn't have those same headlines right now. All right. Head coach is out. Starting quarterback is out. No Vrabel, no Tannehill. Multiple other assistants out. Multiple other players out. It's going to be Matt Barkley and Logan Woodside at QB this week. And it's going to be Woodside for 2 series and then Barkley for 2 series. Then Woodside for 2 series and then Barkley for 2 series. Not an optimal situation for either quarterback to get into any kind of rhythm. So I'm not convinced Tennessee's showing up here. All right. And here's the Bears. Justin Fields is going to get the start this week. All right. We're not going to see Andy Dalton. But the key in the second half of this ball game, Nick Foles is going to get his first playing time of the preseason, first real playing time of the preseason. And let's not forget what the Bears want to do with Foles. They want to trade him. It is then their best interest to make him look good in the preseason finale. No surprise that Foles is moving this offense up and down the field a little bit. We've seen the Titans dominate backups versus backups in the first 2 preseason games, not the third one. Give me the Bears minus the field goal. And there's your big game breakdown, Prez. Back to you.
Teddy, Karen, such a Karen. She writes, rather a Veno than flexing and hydrofoiling. That took a second, Karen. But we do love you. Thanks for joining us. Guys, hit that like button, please. Andy Lang, all I want to do is talk Formula One with you. And alas, I will not put you on the same show as Rob Veno because we can't. How you been, man?
I've been very good. I've been great. Been collecting milk crates, getting ready for my big stunt this weekend. So I'm very excited about that.
Wait, I don't know about this. What's going on? What now, Andy?
I just have milk crates everywhere.
The milk crate thing. Where you?
There you go. Now you're catching up. Yes, it was a joke.
There you go.
Dude, I'm an old guy, and you know what? You're lucky I even know about it. I think one of my kids said it in passing. I don't have a clue what's going on, man. Okay, well, make sure to tweet out the video if you don't mind. Let's go. Oh, you got a 5% baseball play going tonight, dude. 47% return on investment in August in baseball. 4-1 in your last 5% baseball plays. Way to go. Guys,
thank you very much.
Wake up. Head over and grab Andy Lang's 5% play, please. Dude, we got to get this moving. Corey Davis, over or under in touchdown catches for the season. Talk to us.
Well, he's becoming a polarizing player in fantasy football drafts, so I'm sure you've heard how good he's looked with Zach Wilson, and this 4.5 touchdown catches number seems really low. I'm not a big fan of the Jets this season, but they got to score points somehow. Corey Davis really seems to have cemented himself as a number 1 wide receiver on the Jets. And they're probably going to have to throw the ball a lot. The strength of their defense was this defensive line. They've had a season-ending injury. Now they just lost another guy for the year with a rare blood disorder that took out Curry for the year. So the strength of that defense is now kind of crumbling. So you got to believe that they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. I don't believe in their running game. Tevin Coleman is their starting running back. They were the 29th worst rushing offensive line in 2020. So I have no confidence there. And last year on the Titans, Corey Davis, he did get to 5 touchdown catches, but you got to remember that Titans team. Derrick Henry was their number 1 scoring option. He was also opposite A.J. Brown. So even with being one of the last kind of guys to score for the Titans, he still got to 5. And here's an interesting stat. Last year in the NFL, 62 players had 5 or more touchdown catches. Every team in the NFL got at least 1 wide receiver to 5 or more touchdown catches. I think he's going to get there by hook or crook. This 4.5 touchdown total seems way too low for a 17-game season. I'll take Corey Davis over 4.5 touchdown catches.
Let's talk about Saquon Barkley, the Giants' second coming, who was supposed to be all of that. And like every other running back that has been drafted in the first round for the last 2 decades, Saquon Barkley has been something of a disappointment, or just about every other running back that's drafted in the first round over the past 2 decades. What do you expect for Saquon Barkley here in 2021? Is this the season that the Giants' former number 1 pick finally breaks out?
I expect this to be a rough year for Saquon Barkley. There's so many things to like about the under. The books have this number at 1,185.5 yards rushing, and I'm going to take the under. Pro Football Focus ranks the Giants' offensive line dead last coming into the season. They are the only offensive line that is rated bottom 8 in both pass and run blocking. This spells disaster for Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Big question mark. And you got to believe opposing teams they're going to want to take away Barkley. He averaged 5 yards a carry in 2018. In 2019, that went down to 4.6 yards a carry. And before his injury last year, listen, there's a really small sample size, but 19 carries for 34 yards. Steelers and Bears, who he played against, they were just keying in on him. Coming off an ACL and meniscus tear, and he just now started doing 7v7 drills with his team. Inside the division, Washington and Philadelphia, they have high-ranked defensive lines coming into the season. The Giants play them twice. And they also get the Broncos, the Rams, the Bears, and the Buccaneers on the schedule. I see a slow start coming back from this knee injury. This is not an injury that you can just pop back up, even though it's been close to a year. You're going to have to get reps in. I see a slow start. I see a tough year. And any nagging injury with him, they may have to sit him for a few games. I don't think he's going to get to 17 games played at all. So the under is the way to go after this one. And quite honestly, it's one of my favorite under plays this year.
Andy Lang. Andy, a 5% play up tonight in baseball. Good luck with it. I know that you do not like all the fact that you look like everybody on the planet. We had a person in the chat room, and I think they're right. A cross between Jimmy Kimmel and Patton Oswalt. I see it.
No, you can't. No, you can't combine. You can't combine celebrities. You either look like one or the other. You can't take a bunch of different people. This is not a montage of lookalikes. You pick one and you go with it. Otherwise, it's void. You can't combine guys.
Well, we just did, and I agree with that assessment.
Yes, honestly, that's a good mix. You know,
yeah,
Kimmel Oswald mix. Yeah, I'll buy that.
Yeah,
go to
Jimmy
them. Go to them for picks. If you want to see more of those guys, have them on. See what Kimmel's
I don't
got.
want to see more of them, dude. I want to see more of you. Come on.
Okay.
You know, I always got Billy Crystal, and I don't see it at all. But before Google was around and before the internet, when I was like 2021, City Slickers was a thing. I used to go to bars, and I told people I was Billy Crystal's son, Larry Crystal, and I would never wait in line, ever. Larry Crystal, that was my thing. We all have things. Anyway, guys, 221 of you in the chat room, 53 likes. Are you kidding? Let's go, man. Give Andy some love. Dude, Garrett Cole, strikeouts tonight, over or under?
Love the over as my face has been parlayed by two celebrities here. But I'll just make this a single play. Love the over 7.5 strikeouts, and we're getting a great price at even money. Cole has gone over 7.5 strikeouts in 7 out of 11 road starts this season, and he's got a great history against Oakland. Oakland hitters have had 117 plate appearances combined against Garrett Cole, and they've struck out 43 times while only walking 8 times. That's 37% of the time they step up to the plate against Cole. They strike out. He's been incredible since coming back, 11.2 innings, only giving up 1 earned run and striking out 15. And last night, the Yankees had to use several bullpen pitchers. So I think Cole might be in line for maybe an extra inning, a higher pitch count. before going on his leave of absence, Cole had gone over 100 pitches in 5 out of 8 starts. And just a nice little tidbit here, Oakland's hitter, Matt Olson, who's just a fantastic hitter. Olson is 0 for 19 against Cole with 12 strikeouts. So that's one of Oakland's best offensive weapons that Garrett Cole has dominated. I love this strikeout prop. And the other thing we're seeing with some of these strikeout props as we're moving on to the season is the higher numbers are going over and some of these lower numbers are going under. We saw it with Max Scherzer last night. He had a high strikeout total, easily went over. So these all-star pitchers with these higher strikeout numbers are starting to go over more often than not. So we're getting a great price and a great spot for Garrett Cole's strikeout prop.
Andy Lang likes Garrett Cole over 7.5 strikeouts tonight. He's also got a 5% MLB play locked and loaded. He's on a 10-2 run, 4-1, 80% with his 5% MLB plays in August. Andy, anything else you want to talk about before we let you go, my friend?
No, just a big weekend for us. We're going to have a lot of really solid MLB plays. We've circled this weekend all week. Monday, we looked ahead and a lot of great MLB spots. So we look for a really, really solid weekend, a lot of profits.
Just for the record, I circle every weekend all week. Andy's leaving us. Mark Sherlith. I know who he is. Mark Sherlith. You know who I'm talking about. There's another one. Andy, you look like everyone, man. Like what? Idris Elba, I even see. Okay, brother. We'll talk Formula One another time. Love having you on. Guys, make sure to grab his 5% play. Get the hell out of here. Skee Profit's joining us, Teddy. And what a fun show it has been today. We're now at 74 likes.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciated. John, DJ, David, Low Cash, Rara, Lamar Swede. That is a quality name. Where might Skee be? We need a second for Skee, Teddy. So let's go back to Andy. Andy, are we in the middle of the Formula One season right now? I don't even know.
Be careful. Yeah, be careful with Formula One. Max Verstappen destroyed his car in practice today. And don't take too much away from the practice sessions. The first one was damp. And then the second session, they ran at medium tires on lower power because they're getting ready for qualifying. And that is about as nerdy as it gets for a segment on Formula One on this show. So I will tell you this. A few years ago, I got my entire night of drinks paid for because we were shooting a segment in a bar here in Indianapolis, and everyone thought I was Adam Richman from Man vs. Food. So me and my friend,
I love him.
I
see that too, dude.
Yeah. And we were filming in a bar, so we had lights and cameras, and we had drinks and food, and it was dimly lit, and these guys were all tore to shreds, and they were like, "We're buying Adam and Richmond drinks." We're like, "All right, let's do it." So, drank for free.
Imagine if Larry Crystal was hanging out with you.
Is that with all the snot coming out of your face or not?
Hey, man, I'm allowed to be sick. Come on, man. Like, give me a break, okay? It's
I
like
know.
40 million degrees outside.
You are allowed to be sick, Prez, but one way when you're trying to attract an audience for a show not to do that is to open the show and wave a big pile of tissues. Hey, look at me. Look at my snot. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
These are clean tissues. And it's toilet paper.
The fact that you have that much toilet paper by your desk concerns me.
How do you know
Dude,
he's
I'm full of shit? You know I'm full of shit. Who else is more full of shit than me?
Your next guest. I think he's here.
Dead silence. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have a Skee sighting? Well, I do see him.
He's there.
Yeah, there he is. I mean, he's looking good.
Sometimes it takes a minute. In the meantime, let me ask you about Saquon Barkley. All right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get a chance to follow up because we were really short on time. But now that we have a little bit more time, I want to ask you about Barkley because it's clear to me like the Giants' offense is based on Saquon Barkley running the football. And there's some guys that were betting unders because we don't think they're going to get the opportunities. Do you see a scenario here in which Barkley's not getting 20, 25 carries every week? Because it seems to me like he's going to get the opportunities, and that concerns me with the under.
I mean, the Giants staff, you never know. I wouldn't give him 20, 25 carries coming off of an injury like that. That's a lot of wear and tear. And the way that the league is going, these bell cow running backs are just they're less and less frequent. I would, if they do that, I think that helps our under because they're going to run him into the ground way too quick. And with this bad offensive line, I would not want him taking that many hits that early in the season, especially since they said they just started doing 7-on-7 drills. If he's going to get 20 to 25 carries, I think it's going to be a short season for him. A knee that's coming off of surgery like that just can't take that punishment at this level. I would see him getting 10 to 12 touches to start as they ease him into the year. That'd be my recommendation, but with these NFL teams, you never know. But I think the more carries, the worse for Saquon Barkley early in the season.
And it's worth noting, the Giants just announced that they will be playing their starters first half against New England on Sunday, with the exception of Saquon Barkley, who will be sitting out once again. So Giants starters going a little bit longer than some might have thought. They're dogs in New England on Sunday. We've also seen a game get moved. That Saints-Cardinals game got moved earlier because of the Hurricanes' concern in New Orleans.
Get out of here, Andy, for the second time. Skee is up. One of our listeners wrote Larry Crystal should buy stock in Kleenex. Yeah, I know. I need Kleenex. I don't know why I'm using freaking toilet paper, but it is what it is. Skee, it's been a fun show, dude. I mean, thanks for popping into the chat room and hanging with everyone, donating half of your time to Rob Veno. So we have about 60 seconds now. I'm only kidding. Orioles Rays. Well, when you finally win a game, you get to go on a little bit of a run. What do we do in this game tonight, Skee?
Yeah, I didn't love too much on today's slate, so I don't mind giving up some of my minutes to Rob Veno, who's sharing a lot of good information. I do love this game, though. Rays and Orioles. I feel like every time I come on this show, I talk in some capacity about Baltimore. And I just, Matt Harvey, he was good for a little portion, but he looked like he's regressing. His last 10 innings, he's given up 9, and the Orioles bullpen can always be beat up on. And I look at the Rays, 14 of their last 18 games, they've gone over this 5.5 number. The last 7 times they played Baltimore, they scored 7+ each time, batting .301 against them. And I have them as 10th weighted runs created plus the last 2 weeks versus righties. So I'm expecting the Rays to put up a big number here. I mean, every single time they've played them, they've done it. I was riding it every single game. And also looking at Baltimore, they've been a little bit better lately, but 16 of their last 21 opponents have scored 6 or more. So Rays team total, I got it at 5.5. If it did go up to 6.5, I still think they cash it. Like I said, they've scored 7+ the last 7 times they played. But if that's a little bit too high for you, I mean, Orioles have lost a lot of the games in a row by, or not in a row anymore because they won a couple, but by -1.5. So I will be playing on Tampa Bay Rays today.
So I watched Harvey. In fact, I had the Rays against Harvey. I think it was 2 starts ago. And he mowed them down the first 3 innings, 3 up, 3 down. You know, he threw 9. He got all 9 batters out, and then he gave up an infield single in the 4th. And then as soon as there was trouble, it got worse for Matt Harvey. But he's had some success, at least, against this lineup. And it's certainly an Orioles team that, after losing all those games in a row, now has found a little bit of life and a real spark last night. Does either of those 2 factors concern you here, or is just, you know, hey, Baltimore's had their moment and let's start fading them again?
Well, I mean, usually when I think about Baltimore, they're supposed to be better versus lefties, but I want to say lately they've been hitting a little bit better versus righties. I have them as 27 last 2 weeks, weighted runs created plus versus lefties. So I know they won a couple games in a row, but it's a different story with the Rays. Like the Rays that kind of own them, and Rays have been hot too. So I don't think Matt Harvey's going to have a good outing. I have his numbers here as his last 6 1/3. He gave up 11 versus the Orioles. So I expect them to roll. I don't see any reason to back Baltimore tonight.
Skee Profit. Skee, Boston versus Cleveland. Rodriguez versus Allen. Boston -178. Total of 10. How are you handicapping this one?
Well, I got in on this one earlier as well, and I didn't look at the updated lines, but really, I just kind of simplified it, and I want to back Eduardo Rodriguez versus Logan Allen. Allen, he's been looking real shaky lately. His last 11 and 2/3, he's given up 20 runs. So I'm not. He's just a guy I want to fade the way that he's looking. And Rodriguez, last time he faced Indians, I think was last year, and I'm blanking out right now. I know his last start, he kind of got shook up a little bit, but before that, he was pitching really well. I think before that last start, his last 16 or more innings, he gave up like 3 runs. So he's cashed, or he's won 7 of his 10 first 5 starts. And if you look on the other side, Logan Allen, he's won 5 and 1. So I'll back the Red Sox on the first 5, -0.5. The price I got was -125, and I wouldn't play it anything above -140.
So my clients and I had Rodriguez in his last start. We had him on the run line against the Rangers. And that's, I think, the single worst bet I've made in MLB all year. Boston was never in the game. They lost 10-1, and it wasn't that close. That's not the first bad start he had. He had a bad one against Toronto at the end of July where he got bombed in that game. Do we worry at all about Rodriguez's penchant for dicey starts on a fairly regular basis? It's not like the Red Sox are winning for him all the time anymore like they were earlier in the season.
Well, I mean, I just see that last start being shaky. Like I said, the last 16, a little bit more than 16 innings before that, he was looking fairly well. And I think the Red Sox hit enough for him, at least on the first 5 innings. Like, I want no parts of the bullpen. I really just want to get after Logan Allen. When I look at the bullpen numbers the last 10 days, Red Sox 4.68 compared to the Indians at 2.7. So it would make me nervous to play them the full game. But as far as the first 5, I mean, Rodriguez has been trending in the right direction. Logan has been going the opposite. And I just think that we continue to ride it here today.
Skee, I can't thank you enough for joining us, man. And sorry we ran a little bit late today. It was a real great show. Best of luck this weekend. Keep kicking ass. What do you have to promote?
I don't love these games too much today, so I'm gonna have Ralph Michaels and Rob Veno come help me out on Spotify Green Room. So if you guys are available or you want to check it out, come give us a listen.
There you go. Skee Profits, everyone. What a show, Teddy. Now let's the culmination of all our good work, the daily presidential address. Dan, I'm not going to quit on this music. I need guitar. Okay. I give me Sabbath. Give me Maiden. Give me freaking Slayer. I don't even like Slayer, but just give me something. I was going to say hard, but that is just all wrong. Anyway, what a great show today, guys. Rob Veno, Andy Lang, and Skee Profit on WagerTalk Today. Check it out on our YouTube channel, WagerTalk TV. Well, I won last night again, and I can't thank you guys enough, man. I mean, it has been just an amazing 6 months of betting for me. Won the last 2 nights in a row in baseball on a 51-28 all sports run. My Canadian football is 4-1 on the season. Guys, I've got a Canadian football bet up for tonight, a baseball bet up for tonight, a college football bet up for tomorrow, and I'm rolling in everything we're betting right now. 3 free plays for tonight, real simple. I like Fresno State tomorrow. We've had a lot of people come on the show, from Dave Koken to Ralph to on and on, that all like Fresno State. I actually like them more in the first half, but I am betting them first half and full game. I like the Milwaukee Brewers tonight, Lauer on the mound, and I like the Giants anytime I can get Guzman at close to a pick'em, and I think here he's plus 105. I'm going to take advantage of it, even though he's playing the red hot Atlanta Braves. Teddy, that's it, brother. I got a veal sandwich for lunch today. Please take us home.
So I figured out what your music is. The intro music, if it's not Faith No More, that song Epic, it's something that's taking off from that. So it was like a early 90s song that I can remember from back in the day. You know,
Dude,
you
give me Plush.
want it.
Oh,
Anyhow.
I know.
Yeah.
I want Plush.
I'm not going to
Give me
sing.
Plush.
What
from
I am going to
Temple
do
Pilots.
is wrap up the show. Thank you so much
Please.
for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with us. Enjoy the weekend. Make some money. We'll be back again, same time, same channel, Monday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon for you on the East Coast. Between now and then, enjoy the games and good luck.
Our 90-day all-access package is always incredibly popular at the start of football, but we've made it even better. Not only do we discount the 90-day all-access package to $7.99, but until August 29th, we've added 30 days. That's right, until Sunday, August 29th, you get 120 days of the most action-packed sports month for only $7.99. That would include the rest of the NFL preseason, all MLB plays through the World Series, the entire college football regular season, at least 15 weeks of the NFL, over 2 months of the NHL and NBA, over 6 weeks of college basketball, plus any soccer, UFC, Asian baseball, Asian basketball, golf, and any other sports your favorite capper releases. The most action-filled 120 days of the sports year are yours for only $7.99.